grew because he was a freelancer, and now he has his own. He's setting up his own agency. So what did we realize in all four scenarios? The important aspect was to scan the opportunity. So scanning opportunity is a very first important step, and then we need to do, and then obviously we move on further from there. Now there are other scenarios too where not only that's getting the opportunity, sometimes there are other situations that people are motivated through incentive campaigns, or there are campaigns that government does. What they do is they give you some incentives. So to give you an example, that Department of Tourism motivated people to start a paying guest accommodation. Well, why? Because realize that the less number of rooms available in the particular destination, they said start paying a guest accommodation. Oh, okay, fair enough. Is if I do that, even government gave the training for housekeeping and assistance for monetary assistance, just in case if you wanted to set up your own, added one room to your house and whatnot. So wouldn't that be a great idea? Wouldn't that push you? That's another opportunity that you sense and scan, and then obviously you move on, and you really work on the opportunity. Now, when this opportunity scanning is done, I think that's a time we need a lot of support, isn't it? We need a lot of assistance and support in terms of letting us know what to do, how to do. And yes, for sure, an entrepreneur will go and try to find or seek information which is dependable, which is the correct information, isn't it? Now, it is not only that, it doesn't stop here where you have to just scan the opportunity, isn't it? It goes beyond. You have to look at the environment. You have to scan the environment, not just the opportunity. Now, we have to look, where do I stand? Where does my idea stand? Where are my competitors? So we need to know our own strengths and weaknesses in terms of capacity, in terms of thoughts, in terms of connections, in terms of monetary values, and a lot many other things. And at the same time, what could be the threats? So we have to look at the threats also. So obviously, there's a term called SWOT analysis. I did discuss this some with you, which is S for strength, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threats. We shall do this in very, very soon, in a few moments further. Now, obviously, as an entrepreneur, you must be able to scan the SWOT, means strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, to actually understand where do you stand, and obviously look at converting a potential opportunity into a real opportunity. Potential could be done to a real opportunity. Now, as the word came, assessing the market. So I was talking to you about profiling the customer, but there's another bigger umbrella. That means, where are you at the moment? That means, where are you working? So I gave you example from going from Delhi to Jammu. So how many tourists are going over there? What is the whole market? So it's called assessing the market. So an entrepreneur, while working to develop any product or service, have to assess the market. What is the growth of that market? What is the potential of that market? So I'll give you one more example to share over here. The area called Ladakh. Ladakh has become union territory now recently. Now, Ladakh, from, like, I have studied with the students of my batchmates for Ladakhis. They used to have a beautiful places. They used to send up pictures long term back, and now with this new development come up, they are beautifying further. They are making more marketing campaigns, and they have their own houses, and they actually have the hotels within the houses. Yes, so they come, and the last final day they come and sit with the whole family sits for the dinner with the tourists. They come for once for the last day. Now, what am I saying is there's a lot of opportunity now. Uh, there are many restaurants, or many hotels rather, I would say, well, not hotels, restaurants. What they do is they operate during what's it called, winter season, November, December, January, February. They operate in Goa, and during summers they go to Ladakh. So the same people who are working in Goa, they move and they work in Ladakh during summers, because Ladakh is a very, very strong potential market in summers. Now, think about it. That Ladakh is a market itself. So that's exactly what I was trying to tell you. Assess the market of Ladakh. How many hotels are there? How many locals are doing it? How many outsiders are doing it? Is there any restrictions for outsiders? Is there support from the government? Okay, when you do the agency, is a language a barrier? Is anything else that can come as a barrier? So lot many things in the market you have to see. So That is something called assessing the market. Okay. Now, not only that, you have to look at the competitors. How many more people are there who are really working or into the same idea that you're working on, right? Now, one thing must be there, that with an entrepreneur, they must have distinctive competencies. Competencies, sorry. We discussed that earlier, that you must have a burning fire, a desire to set up your own business. Number one. And also, along with that, you must have ability and or experience to compete effectively. Not just opening the business is enough, you have to know compete with the competitors. Yes, there are other people also there in the market who are doing the same as you and who are doing the same business, so they're competitors. So you need to make sure that you are making your business, it's like your business like a baby. You make your baby so strong that no one can fight your baby, right? Now, you have to analyze the market, to look, and once you analyze the market, you must have the ability to manage and outperform your competitors. That's another aspect that you need to understand as an entrepreneur. Now, there is a survey which is done by NCAER, and out of the survey, the output of the survey came, the questions asked, and 3 out of 4 entrepreneurs, they had chosen the products for their own business setups, which were marketable. That means they could market easily and had potential demand. That means the businesses, they had potential demand. People, really were looking forward to that, and they were marketable. That means you can do marketing about it. An example was, I was just giving an example of Ladakh. Ladakh is marketable? Yes, it is indeed. Ladakh, the problem is, it's so much of snow that comes and cuts off from the whole country, right? Now there's a new tunnel which has come up, right? So that means now it's a right time for you to think about it, think about entrepreneurial activities, or businesses that can be done now. That it's like a snow and ice full, right? And in summers, it's another place. The lake that we saw in Three Idiots that gets frozen. My friends have actually been on the lake and sent the pictures. So what do you think at the moment when I'm telling you these things? I'm telling you an opportunity scanning right now. Now, you have done in your for the marketing, you have done in your TS1 block 6, you have done different aspects related to tourism marketing and characteristics of tourism product. I would request you to go back and have a look at those, and also on units, read units 20 and 21 of that course, and this will give you a more broader idea. And I want you to link the context of entrepreneurship, those marketing, relate them to entrepreneurship. Now let's move on further from here in terms of market assessment. Now, there are a few questions that we must ask to ourselves as an entrepreneur. Now, the questions like whether the product or service is being offered will have sufficient demand or not. So, as a give you, again, let's take example of Ladakh. So, will the tour package that you prepare from people from Delhi to Ladakh, through the new tunnel, okay, will that, when you offer that, will they have demand or not? What type of people will buy that? Who is the person who's going to buy that? Okay, and if they're buying, why would they buy that? What is something unique that you're creating in your product, in your package, that they will buy? And how many of them will buy that? Because it's not just that, if you're setting up a package and only 10 people buy the package, you may not be able to fulfill your commitment, right? Yeah. So these are questions that you need to ask yourself in terms of assessing the market and profiling your customers. So it's also called market demand analysis. What is the demand in the market for the product or service that you are looking at? Okay, so you need to do the analysis, find out, and done by surveys. You can do some surveys. You can ask this question, see what's happening in the market from the previous trends. Also, this can come. Okay, now you can also create a demand, among the tourists, in different ways, and telling them marketing is there another way of doing it, and also through the intermediaries. Now, what again we're going to do is we are going to use marketing techniques for sure. We need to use marketing techniques because we need to reach your product or service. How does your product or service match with the desires, the demands of the customers, right? You have to map that and explain that, and that's what marketing is all about. you're informing people, you're letting them know. And I will not go to the depth of it, marketing, because you will have done it by now. But obviously, it is balancing and mapping with the requirement of the customer to what you're offering. How best can you match that? And that's what it's marketing all about. Okay. Now, we will also be at this stage we'll be analyzing the competitive situation, which is very very important aspect, that how are our competitor doing, right? We look at the market research, we look at you know, the share of competitors. I'll give you one good example, or I'll change a different analogy. I will do it in a different way. Let's say um, from Delhi to Ladakh is one market, and then one market is as one pizza. Yes, one pizza. So one pizza, big 12-inch pizza is a market. Now, how many players are there? How many people are there who are actually, doing the tour and travels for sending people to Ladakh? Let's say there are 6 people, right? So the 12-inch pizza you divide into 6, parts. May not be equal. Some is doing bigger. Maybe has a bigger, he has a bigger travel agent. More people are going. Some are smaller travel agents. So that's what I'm saying. So you divide and into 6 different parts now. So, what is the share of each, and where can you fit in? You look at those 6 players in there, and look at those players. What are the pros and cons? That means what are they doing good and what they're not doing good. Again, the SWOT analysis will tell you. Now, in the competitive situation analysis, you actually try to find out. You really, really find out what things are being done good and bad, and what are those bad things that you can pick and improve and really work for giving service to your customers. And if there are, so for that you really have to do few things. That means you need to understand much better. You need to go and realize what are the good and bad things. How do you do that? Let's take an example to find out how do we do that. So this time I'm taking another example. I know I'm giving a lot of examples, but I hope it's making easier for you to understand, right? Now we will take an example of a restaurant. Let's say we're opening a restaurant in Delhi. Let's open a restaurant in Delhi. Okay. To open your own restaurant, what would you do? Let's look at it. First of all, the few steps that you will do. First of all, you like to find out which area of Delhi do you want to open a restaurant, right? Okay. Then you look at how many restaurants are there in the vicinity. Where do you want to start? How many other restaurants are there? Maybe similar restaurants as you are, or oval total restaurants. Okay. Now the restaurant that you are targeting at, what again, custom profiling, what customers come over there, what time of the day they come, what are the operating hours over there, how many people are there, how many chairs, tables, big, small, services, all those things. Then you go to the restaurant and go as a customer. Okay, when you go as a customer, you look at the environment, look at the service timing, look at if there's anything special they're giving. Are they giving any kids meal? Are they giving a high chair for children or toddlers? Are they giving any special meal plans? Are they giving special discounts for army people or disabled? Has they got disabled passage? So there are a lot of things. How are the, what is the taste of the food? What is the ambience? What about what's it called, customers? Are there any angry customer, happy customers? There's so many things. Look at the menus. What is the variety? So there's so many things you will actually understand from going to that particular restaurant. And then not that one restaurant, go to the restaurants, all the restaurants in the vicinity, and make your notes for every restaurant. Come back and look at it, and then draw maybe a big board and try writing for each restaurant. You could do a SWOT analysis also. Now when you've done that, you will actually understand the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors as compared to where you are now. This will give you a lot of opportunity for you to find out their weaknesses, and you will actually can pick up what do you want to serve in your restaurant, how do you want to have your restaurant different than others, and then your baby is stronger so that others cannot fight your baby. That means that's your restaurant. It could be a special recipe, it could be a special sauce, it could be a celebrity chef, it could be a new trend, it could be anything. So that's exactly you will come out as an entrepreneur. Now there's one very important thing in terms of entrepreneurship and in terms of setting up a new business. You know, people are looking for ideas. They have money, right? As an entrepreneur, you may not have that money. You may have, but you may not have that much great money. But there are people who are sitting with a lot of money with them, right? As soon as you get your idea in the market, once your idea or your baby goes to the market, people see your baby, they want to replicate things and try to follow what you did, right? So you make sure that your product and service is unique and you keep it unique. How do you keep that unique? Well, always remember the people who compete with each other to make sure they attract the customer, because customer is going to pay you money, right, and utilize your services. Now they compete with each other, they try to add on things. So what you do is you actually make sure you have researched every other restaurant around in your area and you picked up the